Hi everybody, Estelle here from All Sorts Dog Training. Welcome back. This is the second part of our positive muzzle training webinar. Some of you may or may not be able to attend today, slightly different time, but obviously hopefully this will be recorded, depending on the weather. We've got very heavy rain at the moment around here, so hopefully the signal's okay. And for those of you that want to watch, you can, and you can ask your questions. If not, it'll be recorded and you can watch it afterwards. But essentially what we're doing today is building on the first part of what we did. So in the first part, we built a targeting system with the muzzle, and that was getting the dog to actively build a positive association with that muzzle by touching it in various shapes and forms, starting on the outside of the muzzle or towards the muzzle, and then building our approximations or successive approximations, as we call them, of getting the dog to then target inside the muzzle and marking a reward. Luna did really well last time, and she was building that understanding that in order to get the reward, she needed to put her nose into the muzzle. So today we're going to be focusing on a bit more on that duration. That is keeping the dog, or wanting to keep their nose in that muzzle for longer. And why do we do that? Well, we want them to get used to putting the muzzle in for longer, because it gives us then the opportunity to add in or chain in that tying, securing the muzzle onto them and using the straps. And how do we go about doing that? And then building into a system when it's on the dog that they're still comfortable with it on, and that they can start moving around. Once they start moving, that does change the dynamics of how the muzzle feels for them. So we need to make sure that we don't do all that other prep work and then lose focus on marking a reward for that first stages of movement and rewarding that. So we use, again, a slightly different target system for that. So Luna here, we've done a little bit over the last week or so since we did the first webinar, but not actually that much. I didn't want to do too much with her because I want you to see most of the stages. And I think that's important, that you can see how she responds, because your dogs are likely to do the same. And then how quickly to progress. My session today is dictated by her. Whilst I might want to achieve going to her moving around with the muzzle on in the end, if I don't feel it's appropriate for her in this session, then I won't progress to that. We will do another one again. This is really important when you work with dogs, which is, yes, you might have an end goal, but the key here is sometimes you've got to let go of that goal. It's not the thing that you've got to aim for, straight away. Each session, you should have a little, what I call mini goal, which is, well, I'd like to achieve that she can sustain her nose in that muzzle for, several seconds, or that I might just get that strap done up once or twice. Those are really the goals that you want to do initially, not your full end goal, okay? Remember, with any training, it's short, sweet, and it's got to be done in a way where the dog is left feeling like they could do it again. They want to do it again. We don't want any negativity here, and rushing and just pushing that bit more can often send them backwards a little bit. So Luna is looking at me like she's ready to work again. I've got my pouch with my treats ready to go here. This time with the muzzle, I've got the straps set up. Now, last time I had the straps sort of folded back and out the way, and I didn't have the top strap on that goes over the forehead of the dog. So this time now I've attached that strap and those ones, and what I'm going to do is just pull them back out so that they are in position how they're going to sit onto the dog. So now that full muzzle is there. The top strap that goes over their forehead, I've just got laying down the front of the muzzle at this stage. That there's no point having it dangling down into the muzzle, because it's going to get in the way, and that's going to confuse the dog and potentially make it uncomfortable too, with the clip being in the way. So I'm going to start with just the straps, more around the side of the muzzle. So she's going to have to learn how to put her head past those straps into that muzzle a little bit more. I'm back in the same position that I was before. I'm back on my seat again. And she's got the bed here time. If she wants to opt out, she can go sit on the bed. That's a clear signal to me she's had enough. But this time I'll work with her. Hopefully you can see, I'll put the sheet up again so that you can see the muzzle. It is difficult with a black muzzle and a black faced dog for you to see the definition of what's going on, but hopefully that will help. So because I'm now marking and rewarding her in the muzzle, when we start any training session, we might go back to just the basics again of her just orientating towards the muzzle. But in fairness, I'm going to be working on duration today. So I think when I'm going to start today, I'm going to start with, I do want her to still put her nose into the muzzle, not necessarily too long, but just to target in the muzzle this time. So this time I'm adding a cue. So I'm going to be saying muzzle just before she puts her, her nose into the muzzle. And that's just to pair that cue word with the action that I need from her. And so that she starts to build that pattern in her mind, what muzzle means. So she's got up, she's aware I've got food in my hand. So again, she's going to try and orientate towards my hand with the food. So I'm just going to tuck my hand away. If she wants the food, yes, okay, she's got to be involved with the muzzle. So she actually just nudged the muzzle, okay? So that's the first stage, is she's back to going, oh, is it that muzzle thing again that I need to touch in order to get the food? So I'm just going to hold the muzzle, yes, okay, and this time I'm going to feed through the muzzle, yes, okay, and I'm going to do about every 2 to 3 seconds intermittent feeding, not intermittent feeding, marking and rewarding when she's got her nose in that muzzle. That will start to build her sustaining her nose in that muzzle. Muzzle. Yes. Yes. And remember, she can still opt out. Yes. Good girl. So if you notice, she's still holding her muzzle in there, even though I'm going to get more food. Yes. So she's learning that the reward comes now through the muzzle. Yes. So we're building a little bit of duration here. Yes. Yes. So a little bit slight longer delay on that one. Yes. Yes. If you hear another dog in the background, don't panic. That's Murphy. He sounds like Chewbacca. Yes. He's just in the spare room. We've got quite a few foster dogs here at the moment I'm working with. So you may hear a few of them. They're in the room with us at the moment. Hopefully they'll remain calm. Yes. Now, again, I don't know if you can see Luna's tail is still wagging again. So that tells me that she's feeling pretty good about this exercise. That means I've done everything right. She's not frightened of the muzzle. She's enjoying it. She enjoys the game. And remember, this is a game. It's just a target game. Yes. So that's a reasonable bit of duration. Okay, and I'm going to throw away. Go find it. Okay, so she did a nice long hold into that muzzle. Okay, so now I'm going to throw away. Yes, find it. Good, yeah. Okay, and then we'll go back to it again. Muzzle. Yes. Muzzle. Yes. So she's a little bit distracted by Brooke, who's just taking the little dog outside. We've got a couple of dogs here that aren't very well at the moment, so we're just having to work with them at the moment. Yes. So bear in mind, she's having to work through those distractions. Yes. Yes, good. Yeah. Yes, good girl. So that's a nice level of duration. So now we're going to go to what we call the cupping side of things. So what I want to do is, instead of having the food in my hand, I'm going to be getting her to put her nose into the muzzle. I'm going to say yes, and then put my hand into the pouch. The reason being is I need my hands free and ready to do the strap work. If we're going to move to, good girl, just throw it away so she's not, otherwise she keeps offering me the behavior and I'm not marking a reward on, which is not fair. If we're going to go to doing the straps, I need both hands for doing the straps. So what I want to now do is build duration, or her nose being in that muzzle, and holding it there with me, then putting my hand into the pouch to feed her afterwards. The reason being is, obviously, if I do the strap, I'm going to have to mark it and then put my hand into the pouch and then feed her. So it makes it a little bit more practical. Okay, so I'm going to bring her back in. Luna, come. Good girl. Muzzle. Yes. Okay, so even if she pulls her nose out, I'm still going to feed her in the muzzle now. Yes. Okay. So I'm just keeping my hand out. She's holding there. Yes. Okay, feed in the muzzle. That time my hand went to the pouch rather than food in my hand. Yes. Okay, and the key here is to reliably feed through that muzzle. Okay. So she takes her nose out now. I'm only going to go towards the pouch when her nose is in that muzzle. Because if she pulls her nose out as I'm going to get the food, then I'm actually not marking the behavior I want. I want her now to sustain that in there. Yes. Even if I'm getting the treat, she needs to be there. Okay. So what I'm looking as well is she's nudging the muzzle a little bit. So I'm trying to just build for a little bit of calmness on that muzzle, so she's not sort of nudging it, because that's almost like, oh, give me, you know, I'm doing it, give me the treat. I do want some calmness around that muzzle training. I want to make sure that she is holding there still. I'm actually trying to mark the stillness in the muzzle, you know, not her shunting into it if I can. Just because then I'm really clarifying that it's just that hold, you know, hold your nose there, be still in that muzzle. Okay, so we do it again, muzzle. Yes. So that's important, which is when she pulled her, even though I said yes and she pulled her nose out the muzzle, I refrained from getting the treat out the pouch. I want her to realize that now it really is about holding there. Good. Okay, I'm going to throw away. Good girl, go find it. Find it. Good girl. Ready? Find it. Okay, so this time now I'm going to cup the muzzle. That means I'm going to cup the muzzle in my hand. We did it before sort of in my lap. Okay, so I could do the initial feeding through the muzzle whilst holding it there. Now I'm actually going to hold it in both hands. That's because we're going to go from that to doing this action. Okay, and then I can, anytime I mark it, I can release one hand off the muzzle. Yes. Okay, again, the key is she's got to have her nose in that muzzle for me to present the food. That's all. Okay, good. So my hand is slightly further down that muzzle now because I'm cupping it in my hand. Okay, that just means that it's there ready to go. So I've now got both hands on the muzzle either side. Okay, and that's what I'm marking and rewarding now. Good, yeah, well done. Okay, so again, cupping. Now what this is doing is, good girl, is just building a little bit of pressure of that muzzle onto her nose. Bear in mind, everything I've done before is I've held the weight of that muzzle. And it's important that she starts to feel the sensation of it on the top of the bridge of her nose. And that, because that's the thing that affects the dog. Yes, good girl. So where I'm cupping the muzzle, I can decide how much that's resting onto her nose. She still has the choice to be in and out of it. She's holding beautifully. Yes. Okay, nice. Good girl. So just a little bit of weight onto her nose there with the muzzle. Yes, good girl. Okay, just want to make sure she can get away. Okay, good girl. Do a throw away again. So we're adding a little bit more pressure on the dog by doing that. So it needs to make sure that we do, you know, do some throwaways, give the dog a little breather from it. Okay, because she's offering me some good behaviors there, but I still want her to know that she can move away if she wants to. So essentially I'm just cupping it like that because the weight of the muzzle here will be resting onto the dog's nose. That then allows me, once she gets used to that sensation, both hands free to start working with the straps and then work on connecting those straps. If you have a super sensitive dog that doesn't like the sensation of it here, or perhaps this strap here is the strap on the top is, you know, causing a little bit of a pressure point because it sticks out more than the rest. You can actually, is a little tip which I've done with a few dogs, is there's the stuff that you put onto tennis racket handles. It's like a self-adhesive sort of soft foam for tennis racket handles, and you can cut little pieces and you can just put them on the inside of the muzzle here for a bit of cushioning. And I find that stops there being a particular pressure point just where this strap is in the middle, and it makes it more flat and even, and the dogs find it more comfortable. So you can certainly do that with one of these sort of Baskerville muzzles. Okay, she's ready to go because she's looking at me going, come on, hurry up. Okay. Yes. Okay, so that's nice, and she's still holding in there. Again, from now on, all the feed is, I'm just going to bring her a little bit closer to me. Okay, so I'm going to start adding in a little bit of the strap work. Yes, good girl. And I'm still going to feed through the muzzle. Okay, again, I go back to the cup, holding the muzzle as a cup. Strap goes round. Yes. Good girl. Okay. Come a little bit closer. Good girl. Okay, so strap. So now the weight is going onto her nose. Yes. Okay, because I'm taking both hands towards each side of that strap. Okay, remember she's got an option to move away from it if she wants to. Again, go back to the cup. There's a little bit of weight on her nose. Yes, I'm just going to mark and reward that one because that was a reasonable amount of weight of the muzzle on her nose. Okay, again, go back. If you see her looking at my hand, my right hand, yes, as I come in to hold the muzzle, she could look a little bit worried in that moment, but actually what she's doing is, remember, that's my feed hand. So when I move my hand towards the muzzle, my right hand, she's looking at that hand to see whether there's any food in there. That's really what she's doing. She's assessing that. Okay, so now that muzzle is pretty much on her nose. I'm not really holding it. Yes, good girl. And she's sustaining that, which is great. Okay, go back to cupping again. Okay, weight is on her nose. Yes, good girl. Well done. Go back to her cup. I'm going to bring it her. She can start to come a little bit closer again. Come closer. Good girl. Okay, so strap. Yes, good. Yeah. And always the feeding in that muzzle. Okay, so strap. Yes. So a few seconds longer there on the strap. Okay. Why? Because it's going to take you a little while. I'm going to do a little bit of a throwaway for her. It's going to take you a little while to do that strap. Now, this one, this muzzle has the buckle type. Some of them have a clip strap. So this one is, you know, you've got to feed it through and then find the hole, which is a bit fiddly. However, it does mean that there's no clicking sound by the dog's ear. So some dogs don't like the sound of a clip right by their ear. And if you pinch their hair when you're clipping as well, it can be a bit of a problem. So this one I will probably start working on just feeding the strap through, but not actually, you know, fully tightening it in and just getting the dog used to that. So we'll see how she goes. She's actually doing really well. She's quite keen to continue. She's still offering the behavior. So I've got it tucked in my hand. Muzzle. Yes, nice. Good girl. Muzzle. Okay, so she just pulled away a little bit, so I'm not going to progress with the strap there. If she pulls her head out, and it may be that she's anticipating a treat, but if she does pull her head out the muzzle, the most important thing I do right then is not persist with trying to get the strap on. There's a bit of an obsession of, oh, it's so close, just so close, I can just get the strap on. So I just want to make sure that I'm listening to her. So if she does retract and withdraw, that I'm not chasing her with a muzzle or trying to go to that next stage when actually she's saying, oh, hang on a minute, what are you doing? Okay. So, muzzle. Muzzle. Okay, so she's a little distracted, Brooke, at the moment. Brooke's just sorting out one of our dogs at the moment. So I'll just wait until she's sat down again because that's interrupting her. Did you hoover something off the floor? Muzzle. Okay, so we go to the strap. Yes. Good girl. Remember, still feed in the muzzle. Good girl. I'm going to just draw her to me a little bit. She's getting further away. Come on then. Good girl. Yes. Okay, so muzzle goes on, strap goes round. This time, I'm going to do a bit of fiddling with the buckle. Yes. Okay, so there's a moment there where I was fiddling with the buckle. My hand was around her neck. you could see she was there was a little bit of apprehension there. Okay, I'm just going to bring her in. Good girl. Just straighten up a little bit so everybody can see. Good girl. Muzzle. Okay, so to the strap. Remember, when you do this and you've got your hand around a dog, they don't know what you're going to do. That's pretty intimidating for a dog. Yes. Okay. I'm going to feed it up. Okay. So that's, you know, it's a bit like you're going to grab them. They don't like it. Now, she hasn't got a collar on. I'm not going to grab her or anything, but essentially, I've got to build that. So watch her ears. They've just started to rotate a little bit again. She's listening to Brooke as well, but you can see there's just a little bit more tension. Yes, good girl. So I'm just going to go back a couple of steps, just make sure she's comfortable. Okay, she can choose whether she wants to carry on or not. You got it. You got it. Yeah. That's all. So I'm just going to do a basic duration one and not the strap. Now the tail's wagging again. So that's important, which is I might switch between those two. I might not do, you know, progressively. I don't want to do it progressively harder and harder or asking more of it each time. So I might do one with the strap and then a few without the strap, just so that she's, you know, she's got a little bit of respite from that extra little bit of pressure that we're putting on her for doing this. Good girl. Yes, that's a nice duration, that one. Yeah. Okay, good girl. That's all. Okay, so strap, feeding the strap through. Yes. So the strap is there. Yes. I'm going to do quick reinforcement. Now that's round her. It's loosely round her. Yes. I'm still taking the weight of the muzzle with my hand on the left, in my left hand. Okay. Yes, good girl. Okay, I'm going to take that off again. Yes, she's still holding it in there. Yes, good girl. Well done. And then I'm going to do a throwaway. Okay, find it. Good girl. Find it. Okay, give her a break. That was quite a lot. I put the strap fully on there. Yes, good girl. Find it. So she's had a nice little break. So that's really important when you're working with a strap is, you know, you need to know how these things work as well. There's no point trying to put something on it when you can't figure out how to put it on. So it's super important to make sure you're familiar with your muzzle and how it all works. Okay, so with this one with the buckle, the downside is the little pin that the buckle can be quite awkward to find. As you slide the strap on, that can flip back, and then you've got to try and find it to put it back through the hole again. So I need to be conscious of my body language when you concentrate on this next bit. There's a couple of things people aren't always aware of is I see it as well with clipping leads on or putting something on a dog, harness or something. Owners in their moment of concentration when they're trying to, you know, see what they're doing with the clip or, you know, or the buckle is they hold their breath. The problem with that is if you hold your breath when you're doing that, the dog does actually pick up on that. You know, there's sense that you're holding your breath. Now, that can, for a dog, can be a sign of tension, is if something holds their breath. We see this with reactive dogs. You know, when they are worried about something, they pause, they stiffen, they often hold their breath and they pump themselves up. So we've got to be very conscious of our body language in this final stage because we want to make sure that when we're doing this, we're quite relaxed. For some people, I say, you know, chat through the process. Yes, we're marking and rewarding when the buckle goes on, but don't be afraid to use some verbal praise whilst you're doing it. There's two reasons with it, which is it relaxes the dog, but secondly, it prevents you from accidentally holding your breath in the process as well. Okay, Luna, you ready? Good girl. Want to do more? Would you like to do some more? Okay, good girl. Muzzle. Yes. Yes. Okay, so remember now we're still just feeding through the muzzle. So if she pulls her head out, even if I said yes, I'm not going to take the food from my pouch now. She's got to have her nose in the muzzle. Yes. Good. Okay, so I'm cupping that. Strap goes round. Yes. Good girl. Okay, strap's still going round. There's a little bit of weight on that muzzle on her. Yes, good girl. Good job. Yeah. Okay, go to feeding the strap. So she's got the full weight of the muzzle right now. If I see her try and retract, then I would promptly allow her to take that muzzle off. Yes. Yeah, so I'm cupping that muzzle still so that she's not got the full weight of it on, even though the strap is now round her. Yes. Good girl. Yes. So there's a high rate of reinforcement again. She's aware of that strap, even though it's loose at the moment, it's not fully tied on. She'll be aware of that around the back of her head. Remember, the head's a very sensitive area. Okay, so I'm going to go to cupping her. Go to that buckle. Okay, I'm going to find the hole. That's on. Yes. Good girl. Okay, so it's not fed through yet. So I've only got the buckle onto the hole. It's not fed back through itself for safety yet. I'm not going to, because I want to be able to release it quickly if I need to. Okay, if I fed the buckle, the strap through the buckle fully, it's a little bit more tricky for me to get it off quickly for her. And if she needs to get out of it, I want to make sure I can release it quickly. Yes. Good girl. Yes. So now I'm going to incorporate that forehead strap. So at the moment it's been hanging down the front. So I'll just pick it up. Remember, she can see that. I'm going to pick it up. Yes. She's watching. Yeah, the tail's still wagging at this stage, so that's good. Okay, I'm going to just place it. Yes. Okay, that's important. Did you see that her tail stopped wagging as I placed it on her forehead? So tail, you know, she felt the difference with that. Okay. Do it again. Yes. Good girl. Okay, if she tries to pull away, now the muzzle is attached. The worst thing I can do is hold the muzzle. If she needs to move away with it on, she can move away with it on. Good girl. Okay, we'll go to the forehead one again. Yes. Okay, so see how she retracted? So I'm not going to mark and reward any of that. Try again. Yes. Okay, so she's got the sensation of the buckle there. Okay. So it is different for them. Watch her body language. Those ears are back a little bit. She's aware of that. Yeah. See how she tries to get it off? Okay. So we'll go back to just doing some mark and reward without that bit for the moment. Good girl. You got it? You got it? You got it? You got it? Yeah. Yeah, good girl. I want to make sure I can support her with that weight of that muzzle at this stage. Good girl. So if a dog really hates that forehead strap, I'm doing this for your benefit. Generally with Luna, I probably wouldn't put the forehead strap on. Okay, but I know some of you it will be essential. Perhaps if you've got a dog that's, you know, has more potential of trying to hook it off, or you know, has a bite history, you're going to need that forehead strap. Yes. Good girl. Okay, we'll do it again. Yes, good girl. Nice job. Well done. Do it again. Okay, so now I need to touch the other strap. Yes. Because the two are going to connect, and that's what's going to happen. I'm going to have to touch both the straps. Yeah. Again. Yes. Good. Nice job. Good. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do it again. So this time I'm fiddling around there. I've got to hook it. It's hooked. Yes. So now it's on. Yes. So we do a good rate of reinforcement. Now it's on. Good, yeah. I'm just going to move it over so it's locked on. Yeah, there we go. Yes, good girl. So now the muzzle is fully on. Yes, good girl. So I'm going to do a high rate reinforcement. She's on her own with it on now. Yes. I don't need to hold it. Just leave her. Just leave her. Okay, good. Yes. So I'm marking and rewarding her calmness in that muzzle. Yes, good girl. So this now brings me to the next stage. She's doing well with the sensation of it on. She seems quite relaxed. She's not too worried. Good girl. Yes. Okay, so now we're going to start adding a little bit of movement. Now Luna knows a hand target touch. This is something I train as a separate exercise first. Okay, but I just got to make sure that I add that in. Yes. Okay, you have to put her outside. Just put her into the yard. Yeah, just put her out. Okay. Okay, so she's pretty relaxed. You can see her tail's wagging. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to start a little bit hand targeting. Touch. So this is a game she already knows. It's familiar, and it just starts that process of movement. Touch. Touch. With the muzzle on. Good girl. Ready? Touch. Good girl. Oh, drop the treat. There we go. Give you a different one. Good girl. Okay. Touch. 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 Yes. Good girl. So I'm still remaining seated, but I'm just starting to get her to move around a little bit more. Okay. Touch. Touch. That's it. Touch. Okay, so we'll use the right hand because that's one she's focusing on. Touch. 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 Good girl. Okay, and it's important I'm watching her body language. Touch. Good job. Touch. Yes. Right. Does she still look relaxed with it on? Touch. Yeah. Good girl. Now, the good thing about this is because we've done the touch game without a muzzle on, she already has a good history of feeling like that's, you know, really good. So it's important that you kind of put that in, pre-program that into the dog almost without the muzzle. Good girl. Touch. Because what it does is touch. Yes, good girl. It helps build that association. It's already there established as something that she enjoys doing. Good girl. Well done. Okay, and I'm going to give her a break. So I'm going to take the muzzle off. So I'll cup her again. Good. And then she knows what's going to happen. Okay, we can remove it. Yes, good girl. Give her a break. Good girl. So if I'm working with a dog, I would, good girl, probably break that down a little bit more. But obviously for you guys, you know, I'm trying to show you all the steps. But you've got to take it at your dog's pace. This might be, you know, 5 or 6 sessions, small little snippets. We don't want to push too hard too soon. Luna has a fantastic positive reinforcement history on her. So teaching her generally new stuff is actually quite easy, and she's quite a willing participant. But if I had an aggressive dog that already had a negativity about muzzles and things like that, I would absolutely take this very, you know, much so. Good girl. Find it. Find it. Where'd you go? You ready? Find it. Yeah. Yeah. Find it. So give her a nice long break for that. And actually with Luna, I will probably have a game of tug and things like that after every session. She loves to play, and that would give her a little bit of a release. Now, obviously, when I took the muzzle off, that strap up the forehead was still attached to the muzzle, so I could just slide it off. However, if I go to put the muzzle back on, I won't leave it set up as it is, because that means you then have to flick the dog's ear to get, you know, the strap behind the ear. So you need to start again with taking that forehead strap off, so it's dangling down the front so that you're ready to go again, and then you can involve that as part of the sequence of putting the muzzle on. If you try and put it on with this attached to the strap already, I find personally that the dogs don't like it as much because it sits over to their ears, and then you've got to manhandle their ears to get the strap around the back of their ear. Well, I think that's more offensive for a dog. So you're better undoing it, going back to the beginner status again, where the straps are all open. That's hanging down the front, okay? And then, yes, good girl. She's saying, I'm ready again. And then you can add it in, okay? So remember my cupping now, builds the duration. Yes, that's lovely duration. She's not nudging that muzzle too much now. She's just holding nice and still. Okay, cup again. Yes, good girl. Well done. Yeah. Okay, good. Cup it again. Yes, nice. She's holding beautifully. So the next one, I'm going to involve the strap again. Okay, so I'm cupping. She's coming towards me to put it on. Good. So I cup around and then put my hand round. Yes. Okay. Still feeding within that muzzle. Okay, cup. Okay, then I'm going to feed. She seems very relaxed. I can do that. Okay, I'm going to stop. She just moved her head a little bit. Yes, I'm going to mark and reward for her duration again there. Okay, very aware. Just because I've done it before doesn't mean it's going to go smoothly. There's often a temptation is when you've done it and the dog's done well on it, for you to rush and go straight to doing it all again, you know, in one big sequence. Again, don't be tempted to do that. Break it down if you need to, okay? Good, yeah. Well done, you're doing fab. Yes, you are. Muzzle, muzzle, muzzle. Yes, good girl. So she's starting to learn about that cue. Okay. Muzzle. Okay. Strap goes round. Strap goes on. Okay, so I've pulled it through, but not fully tightened it through. So it's not locked in at the moment. Yeah. Okay, good. So I'm going to cut the muzzle. Okay, I'm going to just then feed that back through itself. So it's now going fully on. Okay, good girl. You're doing so well. So remember to talk to your dog when you do this bit because it's a little bit more fiddly. And if you hold your breath during this time, yes, I do find that the dogs get a little bit more tense because you're concentrating. You don't mean to hold your breath, but you're concentrating. So talk to them whilst you do it. Yes. Okay, we're doing that front strap. So she's got pretty much the weight of that muzzle on her nose now. Okay, good girl. We'll go to that middle strap. Okay, good girl. Again, watch your breath when you do this. Okay. So I didn't fully clip it because I'm fiddling around. If I didn't quite get it cleanly, I'm going to just break that down a little bit more and I'll do it again. Okay, it's going back on again. Okay, I've got a bit of greasy fingers from the food, which doesn't help. There we go. Yes, good girl. Well done. Good job. Okay, and then we can go back to a little bit of targeting again. Okay. So she's relaxed, her tail's wagging. This is good. Touch. Good girl. Touch. Yes, good girl. Okay, she got it. Good girl. Touch. I'll pick that one up for you, Luna, because you won't get it. Touch. That's probably the thing that frustrates them the most. If we drop the food and they can't get the food through the muzzle. Touch. Good girl. Touch. Yeah. Good girl. Ready? Touch. Yes. Okay, so again, she's moving nicely. She looks quite relaxed and calm with it on. Good girl. She's not trying to fight to get it off. She's just waiting for me to do a hand target. Yes. Good. Yes. Touch. Okay, so from this, what will we add on as we start doing more into the sequence? Remember, we're chaining things together. We might involve things like clipping the lead on, but I would probably start with moving her around the house a little bit more. For your sake, I'm not going to start doing that because obviously you can't see because the way the camera is set up. But I would start doing it around the house, getting a target around the house and go to different things and moving a bit more. So she's getting used to that sensation. Yeah. Touch. Yes. Good. Touch. Yes. Yeah. So that's probably where I would finish today. She's done really well. I'll just bring her back around. Yes, good girl. Okay, that center strap is just starting to move around her a little bit. So I'm going to make sure I take that one off just first. Yes, good girl. Get that one out of the way. That was annoying, wasn't it? It was slipping around a little bit. Yeah, I could see. Okay. And remember, again, when you come to take it off, just be aware of holding your breath. Good girl. I'm going to cup it. Good girl. So she knows I'm going to touch the strap, part the sequence. Yes. Good girl. Okay, I'm going to remove it and then I'm going to do a throwaway. And that's where we're going to finish today. She's achieved quite a lot. I mean, that's one session. She's done really well. We built duration. Good girl, find it. Ready? Find it. We built duration. We built in the strap work. She's had the full weight of the muzzle on her nose. And now we've built in some movement with that muzzle on. I would probably switch between, you know, just going back to the basics of her just putting her nose in every now and then. I don't want to always think the strap's going to go on and she's always going to have to move around with it. I'll probably switch between the two, just depending on how the dog felt. But certainly you can see how you can build in, you know, a dog that is comfortable with it on and moving it around. The key there is your delivery of the treats. Actually, what frustrates them is once the muzzle's on, if you keep dropping the treats and they can't get to them, then they become much more aware of the muzzle because they start nudging at the muzzle on the ground and then they start fighting it. So actually your delivery of your reward has to be done a little bit carefully. I dropped a couple, which was not great. I don't, you know, try and avoid it if you can. But you want to make sure that your delivery is cleanly through that muzzle. So when you choose your muzzle, you need to make sure that there is good open access, you know, to deliver those treats. So we'll stop there today, guys. If you have any further questions about muzzle training or want to, but want to do more on any cooperative handling, we do have other webinars coming up. We've also got a few different webinars coming up on other behavior issues like resource guarding and all sorts of things. So switch on to our webinars. We'll be listing all onto the website. You'll be able to book through there. And we hope to see you again and you should join us and learn more about how to approach these sorts of things the right way, where a dog is, you know, willing to work with you and engaged in the process, and does have a voice whether, you know, at what pace they do this. Each dog is different, remember, on different days. So you've got to work with the dog in front of you. Just because you might have achieved a, you know, a certain level before doesn't mean on the next day that they're going to be, you know, ready for that. So you've got to adjust your training plan for your session sometimes and be prepared for that. But Luna today, she's a great dog. She's a really good, willing participant, and she actually enjoys this as a bit of a learning task. This is mentally quite draining for her, so she'll be probably quite tired after this. But it's great because it just builds our bond even more. All right, guys, glad you could join us. Any questions, just pop them through to allsortsdogtrainingnz@gmail.com. Don't forget, you can find out more about us at www.allsortsdogtraining.co.nz. We're also on Facebook, Dog Training All Sorts, and you can find us on Instagram too, allsorts_dogtraining_NZ. Look forward to seeing you again in future. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.